Move on, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what we've been doing at UbiPark and some of the new stuff that we've been doing over the last 12 months. Sometimes I don't think we share well enough, and so hopefully this will give you a bit of an idea of some of the stuff. We with real time and 6.6, we started to look at the way our organisation was structured for a product-led technology business, and decided to make a fair few changes into product teams and look at our business from how the product, being a product-led development business rather than a sales and project-led development business. Without any apologies, I go to Will and say, Mount Hotham want to do this, can we do it? He'll go, get the contract and we'll do it. And that's pretty much how the business grew, where we're able to win business and then build the product out, a requirement. But what we worked out pretty quickly is we couldn't scale that way. So we've done a fair bit of work in that product and organisation, and we've done a bit of a reset, and we'll go through some of the changes in our product a little bit further. Most of you all know that we've ventured into the US. We're lucky enough to have Second Century Ventures, who, for people that don't know, are the investment arm of the National Association of Realtors out of the US. So that gives us a really good insight into the property market over there. And we've been able to utilise that relationship, and we hope to utilise it a little bit further next year. And we've also been able to, set up with a reseller over there. And the aim is to look at how we build now. And we're doing some work with Specify to get some boots on the ground over there and actually have some more resellers push our product into the US. The market over there is respectfully behind what's happening in Europe and here in Australia. And when you go to places like IPMI and MPA's on actually at the moment in Vegas, and you're seeing some of the stuff that the US are actually talking about, and you go, geez, we saw that. Like the big buzz over there at the moment is ticketless parking. And I think, Jack, are you still around? Yeah, Jack's at the back. I mean, we were seeing ticketless parking solutions at Lane Cove, 15 years ago. And if you go to the UK and Europe, you're probably seeing them 20 years ago. And the US are talking about it. There was a big merger in the US or a takeover, where a technology company with some ticketless parking tech bought the largest operator. It'd be like the size of UbiPark buying Wilson and saying, we're going to run all our tech through that. And they paid $1.4 billion US dollars to buy that. So they got some big money, some big people backing them, and now they've got to deliver on that. And that's shaken up the entire market over there, where products like ours are starting to be seen, and they're going to jump, I think, the pay station automation we saw here in the early 2000s, which Laurie and Brad were a big part of. And they're going to move to apps and this Uber style, what we call fast track parking, which is around registering, driving in, driving out, and hitting a credit card or a payment method for that. So we are seeing that. We've had a lot of great wins. Recently with ACE, we've been lucky enough to get the Monash Health. Just hopefully get that contract done, Steve, before now I've announced it. Which is a really, it's a project that we had close to our heart. We'd been involved with Monash Health with the staff project virtually being rolled out. Then they spilt the contracts because they wanted the operator and the equipment and the staff parking solution all back under the one contract. And we've been lucky enough to jump back in with Ace Parking and Park Aid, which is around 80 lanes of parking equipment, which was very well talked about in Amsterdam, Gary, with the IPP team celebrating Sacramento. And I said, there's one in Australia about the same size, which was great. We've also done a lot of work here at the AFL. Jess is going to show us a little bit about what we're doing at the Town of Vale, which is about to go live in the US. And that's sort of mirroring what we've been doing at Mount Hotham. We're also growing with the likes of First Parking, Ace, Care, and other customers at PryPark, both PryParks, South Australia and Queensland. So a lot of our sales come through partnerships and repeat business, but it's been great. Obviously, the roads one's a really big one for us in the retail space. And Melbourne Airport is probably the biggest one we've won in Australia. And we've been working on a whole heap of integrations, and Will's sick of me coming to him and saying, can we integrate into this and can we integrate into that? But what we're seeing as the future is integrating into whatever solution's already sitting there, and we've done a lot of that now with all the park systems. So Ski Data come on with here, IPP, we did a lot of work on the uplift there, and we've done T-Bar now, we're in the midst of doing Hub, Designa. So a lot of the park system, but what you may not know is we're actually doing a lot of security integrations. Genetech here with Will, we've obviously been integrated in with them for the Hobart Airport project for a long time now, but what we're seeing is Genetech in a range with Integrity Infinity, Gallagher. We're seeing commercial properties wanting the security system to be the single source of truth, and parking is a seamless part of that. By we're setting up parking customers inside the security system and allowing them to use whatever access credential that the building may have, and then being able to do all the smarts of what we do off that with the sharing of spaces and getting people in and out, getting guest parking in and utilising the space better. It's a big slide, but this is our product reset. So the top of it is how the end customer is actually using our product and our platform. So there's a web, a mobile, and a mobile site that's being used by the customer. Inside that, we've got a suite of products: Ubi Agile, Enterprise, Reservations, Ubi Mobile, Ubi Hardware, and we've introduced, which is not UbiPark developed product, but specifies a product that we're pushing now and will be embedding into the platform. We've done a lot of work to set a few modules underneath the Ubi Agile, and what we've aimed here is to actually provide a product that can be turned on very quickly. Doesn't have a lot of choice for the customer, so it's really well defined, and it's for that, that customer in a building, maybe have one location, who's looking for a solution to control their parking. And it's got subscription parking, which is your monthly or your weekly or your subscription-based recurring parking. All that automated onboarding and payment technology. It's got a corporate solution, which is pretty much the asset owner giving the tenant the ability to manage their own parking. It'll normally have two groups. It'll have a senior management group, it's got 24/7 access, maybe a dedicated space, which we're managing for them. And then it'll have an agile space where the other staff might have 20 staff sharing 10 spaces, and they will book when they come into the office. If the CEO is out of the office, they can put that space back into the pool and it can be shared through the other staff. And what we're seeing is uplift. I can tell you now, one space for one user is dead. It's about 30% or less of utilisation in commercial property. And this sharing is getting us up to about 98, 99%. You can still see spaces on Monday and Friday, but the car parks are filling with this solution on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's helping people get back into the office. Our Ubi Enterprise product is more for the larger campus and complex projects that we're seeing. So hospitals, we're doing at Monash, the roads project, Gary, that we're doing with Mirvac, Melbourne Airport, which is really a project that's managing bus companies, registering online. Probably going to jump into demos here, Jesse. But it's allowing to do that automated management of companies, letting them add users underneath those companies into different special groups or permits, and then allowing them to come in and out. And we're also starting to see pretty much a must single sign-on integrations in those requirements. And payroll is a big one that's being asked for salary deductions as a payment method. Ubi Reservations, I'll touch on a little bit. We've got a few slides. Ubi Mobile's our UbiPark app. It's got a lot of different functionality. We built it originally for B2C users, and what we've turned it into is something we white label and customised to each of the different customers' requirements. So with Duncan Solutions, we've been able to do Mackay to Townsville to Toowoomba, where we've got a branded smart parking app for the city. Porsche Park have got the Porsche Park app. We're in the midst of doing the Monash Health app. So we can brand it. They own the data, they own the customer. It's all sitting under that, and they've got a customised solution that's actually meeting their user journeys. And the Ubi hardware, we'd sell Genetec cameras, we sell lots of different of hardware. Obviously our access hardware is probably the main product in there, but we're looking at QR code readers and all sorts of things that our customers want. Supported by a heap of services, and then powered by the administration console, which is where all the payments platform sits, where all the customer assistance modules sit, all our reporting, and all the smarts of how we set everything up. I just want to quickly jump into Ubi Reservations. We're about to release version 2. It's going to have a whole heap of different products. We did a fair bit of uplift with the AFL when we released Marvel Stadium, and that was all around the event-based reservations. But now we're looking at how can we add those multiple products and more upgrade paths. We've got some upgrade paths, but we want to have the ability to buy a car wash or some of that. So that's about to be released. We've made it a lot easier to deploy, a lot quicker, a lot more configurable so our product specialists can do it and we don't need developers involved. And we're focusing on how we can increase yields. There's a few yield management pieces that will actually also jump out. One area I do want to show, and I'm going to move microphones if I can. I haven't got a mouse, so just bear with me a little bit. But I just wanted to show, we're doing an MVP loyalty program, parking loyalty program, aimed at airports, but also I think this could fit into a few different solutions. And it's mainly connected at the moment to the reservations solution. So the ability obviously to book parking just not through the normal process. But if I just log in here, you can see here I can use my points. And I've just actually flicked through to the points dashboard in here that'll show me my loyalty points that I've earned. Not sure if I can shrink the screen. Maybe not that far. Yeah, so you can see the points activity from that dashboard, and I can get that when I log in. Let me just get out of this design, go back out of this design. So I'll go through and do I think we might have loaded the wrong URL. Nothing's working on this Figma. Patrick, do you want to come up and have a quick... this is a design program, so these are the screens. So for some reason I can't see them. Maybe it's my not skills on the thing. Can you just check if you can get that through?
Like this link essential team.
Will it run?
Essential team.
If I just restart it.
Yeah, restart.
Here we go. All right, so I've got through to a... I'll go from here. Hopefully it works. I've got through to do a booking, and you can see I can pay by dollars here, and I can earn 55 points for that thing. But if I actually click, nothing's working. It might be this computer where I'm clicking. Have we got a mouse? Do you want to come up and see if you can drive it? Just click on the use points button.
Because it worked on Wednesday.
Yeah, we had it work.
Demo.
There we go. I zoomed in, righto. No worries. Sorry about that. And you can see now I've swooped, so I can now use points to actually purchase. And one of the areas we're going to upgrade is the ability to have a points and pay option mixed. But I can now book do the process via. Maybe I'll put my glasses on. That might help. Click on the terms and conditions and then hit continue. And you see it's gone through and I've actually paid by points. And then that'll come up and show on the customer's confirmation, booking confirmation around the points and stuff like that. So we're in the midst of just getting final feedback on these designs, and we're going to throw that into developing in the next few weeks, and that'll be ready to push out towards the end of this year. If I get back to those slides. There we go. So with Ubi Agile, I sort of talked about this a little bit in the matrix, but with the subscriptions module, the fast track module, which is we're seeing lots in the US, and Daniel and First Parking have expressed here. It's definitely what we were talking to Peter about, turning on at roads. We know Hobart Airport want to turn this on and push this. We see this product in between the cheaper reservations and the most expensive drive up, somewhere in the middle there as a yield management tool, but also allows you to create a relationship with your customer, and you're able to maybe upgrade them into new products, like if they're parking 5 days a week, or then they may need a monthly product. Ubi Enterprise, I sort of touched on this a little bit as well, but that permanent company management, customise the user journeys, and that integration into the SSO and payroll. And I'm going to get Jesse to do this so I don't stuff it up again. Do you want to jump up here, mate? And do the Town of Vale. So we go, Town of Vale snow season goes from the 1st of November through, it's about 5 or 6 months, isn't it, Jesse? And what we're, I'll just move it. What we've been able to do there is integrate in with T-Bar. Integrate in with T-Bar in North America, which is now part of the Hub FAAC group. And we're able to take a permit journey and then push that through into the T-Bar product. And then T-Bar are letting them in and out via licence plate and QR code. And they have, you buy a permit, you get access to so many locations, but then in the other locations, you'll get a discounted parking rate. So we've actually got to get the activity back from those locations, run it through the rate calculator, and charge the credit card on file. And they had a massively challenging rate structure, didn't they, Jesse?
They've got a mixture of so you buy your permit, gets you access to a couple of different parking lots, and then depending if it's a peak day or a non-peak day or a public holiday, determines if you get charged a casual rate or not. So that's basically we've managed to be able to solve a lot of this with obviously with that integration of the TIBA, relying on that activity data coming back in, how they manage all their lanes and restrictions. And then sort of logic on our side to make sure that we're checking if it's the right peak day, non-peak day, and things like that.
So what do you, just maybe talk us through what you're doing here?
So another user journey that the town has is they want to be able to make their companies, or I guess large organizations, be able to buy mass permits for their staff, but they may or may not want to pay for that casual drive-up rate that the town has. So in this instance, I'm really nice. I give you a $25 permit, but you pay for the rest of it. So we've got the system here where the company can register, they can manage all their own staff, all their own employees, do a bulk purchase, assign out these licenses, and then those users will have their own accounts where either they can pay for the drive-up rates, or maybe the business is nice enough and they do actually pay for those. So this is just me going through that process of signing up as a company. There is a step between this sign up and the town, who will need to have some sort of eligibility check that they need to do. So there's a whole approval or rejection process as well. So not everybody has the ability to just mass purchase permits. So I'm just going through and filling this out in the background. And I'll probably put in the only postcode I know in the States. Thank you, 90210. The other part in our system that we have is the ability to select, so we can manage fleets, we can manage what we call tenants, but this is essentially where I can then manage all my users as well, or we can do a combination of both depending on what we want to do. I'll finish off with a bit of a fleet, and then this is just where I'm going to put in my accounts department.
So yeah, we've added the ability to add a second email address that can be send off payment information to accounts, rather than getting back to the person that signed up the account.
Yep. So once they hit register, obviously they can sign up to their own terms and conditions. It's very specific to companies as well. And then we just hit register. One more thing that we've also done is we've made this page very, very customizable. So all of these fields, all of these labels can be changed to collect the relevant information or make sure that you're, for example, they don't call it a postcode, it's a zip code. They don't call it a ABN, I think it's a TIN number. So all of that is very customizable for the customer, for the location. That's it. And now company access is pending. And once that's all approved, then I can go and do all of that sort of next step, and then me as a Town of Vale admin, I'll get a notification that a new company signed up. And then in my dashboard, which obviously no, don't save my password, thank you. In my dashboard, I have access to obviously all the management reports, admin stuff, but specifically in the company management side of things, I will be able to go down here and look for my little account and approve that. Check all the details, change the details as required, and we'll go next. We've got different types of billings that can be done, whether or not whether or not this particular company is paying a certain rate or a certain overflow, or if they're paying on a pay-per-use instance. And then this is where we assign some rules around what that particular company has access to. So in this case, I'm allowing them to divvy out monthly parking to their own users or a casual rate as well. So I can do whatever I want to do, cement those rules so only the company has access to that and they don't just have access to everything.
Great. So that goes live. Anything else you want to show on there before I quickly move on?
No, it's...
That goes live on the 1st of November. It also has the ability, obviously, just for individuals to buy permits and go through that normal process that we've had for ages. But this company management sort of piece is the next sort of enhancement we've just released. You're also seeing a very similar thing for registering bus companies and then allowing the bus companies to put all their vehicles that are going to run through the commercial lane out at Melbourne Airport. And then there's 3 commercial lanes out there with? Four commercial lanes, and there's a whole heap of different business rules on going into the first lane, and if within 7 minutes you get to the second lane, it's only 1 fee instead of 2 fees. But yeah, some real smarts behind that. You want to move back to the deck? Thanks. Look, I might get you to go straight into the demo here, Jesse, for store value payments. So we've been a bit of an advocate for not putting in store value payments into our platform. We saw it as a bit of an old school technology with real-time credit cards happening, but we've had a couple of customers that have really, really wanted it, and it's become commercially made sense to actually do that. So we've actually brought in online the ability for you to do store value payments. So I'll give you the example out at Melbourne Airport again. The bus company signs up, they put a credit card, they add all the vehicles on, they then put $400 in their balance, and it takes the money off as those fees get calculated on the way through. You get to $50, it'll then automatically top you back up. And we've done a whole heap of customisation in here for operators and asset owners to be able to play and make some decisions that best offer this up. So store value's been around a very long time, and not just the parking industry. We see it in all sorts of things with MyKey and Opal and other things like that. And we are seeing a bit of a shift away. We know finance teams don't really love it because it's money sitting on a balance sheet until it's actually used. And we've also come up with some really cool reporting. But Jesse, you want to run through what they're seeing here?
Yeah, so I've logged in as Jesse's Cool Bus Company, and then I'm just presented with just a sort of simple, clean dashboard that just gives me my number of transactions today, this week, this month, and what my current wallet balance is. I get 3 widgets down the bottom. One is for manually topping up, so if I feel as though I need more money, and I want to give more money to the airport, of course, I can go and click this, and I can just manually top up with whatever that may be. I can do, these are all set by the airport, or I can top up with a different number. I'll just go $40 for now. Now in this case, I've got a credit card in there, but all types of payment options, especially what Stripe sort of spoke about a little bit earlier, are on offer here. So Google and Apple Pay, all that, ACH in America, so Pay2 hopefully when that comes through. So all different ways to be able to collect that payment, but then that'll just feed back into my little wallet. So hopefully we should see my current balance is being topped up by that amount. The next part of this is this auto top-up feature as well. So basically like how MyKey, Opal, whatever New South Wales has.
Opal.
Oh, they're Opal?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Is the auto top-up feature as well, which can be forced as well, which was a requirement of the airport. They want to make sure that people always have money in their account. They don't want to go chasing payments. But this is a sort of solution to that. So they come in here, they pick their auto top-up amount, and then when they hit under, in this case, $49, then we'll hit their bank account or their credit card and take the money, and then all those transactions start rolling through again.
And there's a whole heap of business rules behind this as well. So if the automatic top-up fails, because there's no funds in the credit card, that flows through our normal failed payment processes. So the user can be blocked automatically and not have access. In this case, there's no barriers at Melbourne Airport, but there's an alert that goes through to Q3, which is for providing the licence plate recognition out. And if a plate turns up from a failed payment company, it will be flagged and notified to the airport. But also an automatic email goes back out to the customer, and an automatic email and alert comes through for the airport.
The final piece of this is, again, the user, as Jesse's Cool Bus Company, I manage all my vehicles. So I can go in here, and there's a whole new approval process that we've added into this as well, which Melbourne Airport.
Yeah, just maybe touch on that a little bit, because we'd set up the company to have approval. That was something that was standard for us. But Melbourne Airport, so they wanted to approve a bus company, and they wanted to see company registration certificates and all sorts of things to make sure it was a bus company. But they also wanted the ability, which was unique, to approve every vehicle that this company puts on their account. So we've been able to build in another workflow that allows the company to, I'm taking over your demo, Jesse,
no,
sorry. The company to actually come through and add another bus, obviously, but that's not going to be approved until someone views the information at Melbourne Airport, and they can then approve or decline it through the process you saw earlier. Well done, Mostyn.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else you want to show on here?
Not on here, no.
All right, so I'll flick back to the deck.
Yeah.
Just on the payments, we sort of touched on it with Adrian, but we're looking at buy now, pay later. We think the Mount Hotham has a good case for it, but there'll be other cases. It might be something like an operator might want to offer an annual fee that can be paid off through the buy now, pay later, and you get the money up front. Might be a small fee, obviously, to Zip or Afterpay or whoever we turn on with Stripe. We've got lots of choice there. And Pay2, we think it should be TO, or probably not 2. But Pay2, I think, is going to be a bit of a game changer for people looking to reduce their credit card fees. So it's about 0.5% cheaper than the average credit card transaction. And we'll be able to show that in commercial rates. So we're about to go into a beta. We'll be looking for some customers to help us look at trialling that technology. But it's in beta there's a beta program with Stripe to turn that on. There was a whole heap of other stuff. Yeah, as I said earlier, we're doing Union Pay for first parking, but if anyone wants that, that can be turned on as well. We're also, we did all the wallets with Google and Apple about 18 months ago, and we're about to add WeChat as another wallet for anyone that wants to turn that on. And one other feature we've been asked for a fair bit in the US is manual payments. So the ability to actually put a charge in manually from an administrator and flick that onto a credit card at the end of the month. You can set the date of when that manual charge goes through. But one of the use cases in the US was there was a whole heap of validations. They were manually invoicing them. They're paying monthly through UbiPark, and they wanted just to add the discount validated charges to that payment at the end of the month for the monthly parking. So we've been able to, they could just put in a line, say it's $100 worth of validations, and that'll go off in the payment email that says that we're going to take not just the $300 for the monthly parking, we're going to take another $100 for your discount validations, in 3 days' time, and then that'll come out. All right. Most of you would have seen the CarPlay solution that we did with Porsche, and I'll just play that video. This is what $70,000 with no $70,000 in a marketing budget at Porsche gets you. That's our technology in the dash, and its ability to search for a location, navigate to that location, and once you get to that lane, that's the Arts Centre here in Melbourne, you're able to use the dash through the CarPlay platform to open the barrier. I still think we're one. I haven't seen another one that's actually opening the barrier. And there's definitely parking, CarPlay, and Android Auto apps, but we haven't seen another one actually opening a barrier from the in-car display. And then this is what $5 in a marketing budget gets you for Android Auto. Before I play it, I do want to make special mention to the development team here. There was nothing anywhere. Normally developers will find templates and information online on how to build this up. These guys have had to do this from scratch and with a whole heap of trial and error and work. But this is now the same solution in Android Auto with our $5 video.
Innovation from UbiPark. We've released our Android Auto application finally, and we're here at Coles Icon in Richmond, where we're going to show you how that works.
Thanks
so
to Race Parking for the location.
The UbiPark app, Android Auto app on my screen. It's got the nearby car parks in here, so I can punch in and see nearby car parks. I can add a favourite. I can also search for car parks, but the main feature that we want to show today is the access. So I'm just going to hit that access. I'm going to drive up to the car park. Here we are at the entry to the car park. You can see that the app has now found the entry to the car park. We press the entry and the gate goes up. All safely done from the in-car display.
So that's now standard in the UbiPark app. It's standard in apps that are using Access that are white labelled as well. And great to have our brand and app in the CarPlay and Android Auto. I don't think we'll do this one, Jesse, but just wanted to touch base a little bit on the single sign-on technology that we've been doing. We recommend OpenID Connect. We can do others, but we recommend OpenID Connect as probably the best and most secure way to do things. We've been able to actually move it from a development requirement that the product specialist now can configure it. So as we go into Monash Health and we turn this on with ACE, this is a configuration, not what we had to do in the original stuff with the AFL, and actually develop this out. There's a whole heap of increased security because you're now not having to carry as much information on the parking side, and it gives you that centralised user management that a lot of our customers are now looking for. Whereas if someone leaves the AFL, if it's a staff solution or Monash Health, they're closed out of their Monash Health account, and that automatically stops them from being able to enter into their parking account. So we don't have, like auditors used to do to me when I was an operator, come in and say, oh yeah, you've got 50 passes programmed in, but you're only charging for 10 in the invoicing system. It cleans it all up. If you want to see it in action, it's actually in the new Marvel Stadium app, which is another feature that's just released. They've actually embedded our digital parking solutions for online reservations straight into the new Marvel Stadium app, and you actually have to have an AFL ID to be able to access that. So you can actually test that now. That's enough from us. I'm looking forward to a beer, so we'll finish there. I'd also like to, I'm going to call up Daniel and Steve. So as you move forward, I'll thank our support sponsors again. Will's here from Genetec. So if you want to talk LPR, I know Will be here most of the night. We value that relationship we have with you, Will. And Gary, obviously, and Parkade, we use as our experts to install and maintain those cameras. Alice, I'm hoping you'll be around because I want to have a beer with you as well. We really value what you do at real time. I think there's no doubt from where I was from a recruitment point of view and not using it and trying to do it myself to where we are now with quality people and the staff that we have in the team now has been nothing but amazing for our business. So thank you very much.